Hi, it's David Gomm in the Stained Glass Studio. First of all, today I want to talk a little bit about Louis Comfort Tiffany. Now, he's a well-known stained glass artist who ran a studio somewhere between the 1880s and 90s and about 1920s and 30s. Now, he was a great artist. He ran a great studio. He was visionary, and he built really wonderful stuff. Now, his studio is credited with coming up with the copper foil method. I'm not quite sure if historically that's correct, but very often they say that his studio came up with the copper foil method. Now, as you know, we only use the copper foil method here in our studio. And so today we're going to show another technique that he pioneered. Now, Louis Comfort Tiffany made his own glass. His studios cast different colors of glass, and sometimes he would be looking for a particular color of glass, and he wanted exactly what he wanted. Now, you may recall, or maybe you don't know, I don't know, that they made a lot of big, huge panels that went into cathedrals and churches and places of historical big government buildings, all very commercial projects. And he would build these beautiful pieces. Now I'm going to show you a picture here of this technique that he did. It's called plating. And what a plating is two pieces of glass put together. Sometimes he'd even do 3 or 4 pieces of glass so that when the light came through, he would get the color that he wanted. You know, yellow and blue make green. Well, he would do that type of work because he was looking for exactly the color that he wanted. And it would add to the weight of the window, but it also added to the dimension. It looked like the waterfall receded back and came forward. And we'll be showing you that. So anyhow, that's some of the work that he did. Now, plating is considered an advanced technique. But the reason it's an advanced technique is that you wouldn't do it very often, so you probably don't have a lot of experience with it. The reason it's an advanced technique is because you can screw it up. You don't want to get dirt. You don't want there to be moisture in between that piece of glass. And so you want to be very hesitant. We had a lady come over. We were going to do a special piece of plated glass for her window. And in fact, that's what we're doing on this video. And she decided, oh, well, then I want one here and one here, one here, you know, and she started adding a whole bunch of them. Well, that's not the intention, and it's not considered good glass art. So we're going to show you the Tiffany plating method. It's very hard to find information about the Tiffany plating method. We're going to show you that on this video, and then later we're going to show you another way that a person might consider doing plating. So that's what we're going to do.
Well, as you can see, this window is tacked, and that means that we just soldered the intersections. And that's just the beginning. It's to keep it from moving around as we work. And there's the piece that we've plated. As you can see, it's just tacked a little bit. And we'll bring the solder up. We did have some plating going on on these two parts, but the client decided instead that we want red there, so I think that's lovely. And we'll keep on going.
Is it going?
Mm-hmm. Now what are you doing?
Okay, so now I'm going to put the fat stuff on to seal it up. So now I can feel it sliding just slightly, the two layers. So putting this on here now, gotta look in there, make sure I haven't left any fingerprints. And all right, now I need to put it back together. All right. Well, I'm just doing a little bit of tacking here, and I want to now show you how we want to do the actual soldering on the plated pieces. And what I do for this, you can either take a Q-tip or just a small paintbrush, because you want to really control how much you put on here. And I'm just going around kind of the base of the copper. See that? I get a little bit of flux right there at the top of the jewel, but I don't want to get much on there. Now, we've never had a problem with leakage under a plated piece. One of the reasons is because we don't do very many, because you can get moisture underneath there, and that's not something you'll want to do. But another reason is that we did those 2 layers of foil, compressed it together, and then put the other layer of foil on there. And that helps to seal it very well. Now, the way we came upon that method, that doesn't exactly, I haven't read anything in the literature of how Tiffany Studios did their plating about adding extra foil the way we do, but we started doing that whenever we did mirror, and mirror is notoriously difficult to get sealed properly, and most stained glass artists that have been around a while try to avoid doing mirror at all costs. And the reason for that is that it's really easy to get flux underneath the silver, the glass, and then it attacks the silvering You can see that the solder comes right up here, nice and smooth, and then when it transitions over to the other foil, it's not near as smooth. Over on this side, it seems to be fairly smooth. So what that indicates to me is that I need to clean that up just a little bit. Okay, so we're ready to put it on the towel, and that will hold. Okay, so that supports it pretty well. Now you can see, now I really want to be careful here. Now this side looks better because it's flat across this surface. I'm not soldering on a slope. So this is a really effective way to mix colors and also to mix textures, but it's not perfect and it's not the best, and so this is why it's recommended that it be something that it's a technique that could be used sparingly. We don't want to make this be the go-to technique. We just want to use it when we absolutely have to. These jewels here, I wouldn't have done. Jeannie let the client come up with that concept, but I wouldn't have done it because I just didn't feel like it was worth it. She had come up with the same. She wanted these red jewels to also be done, but when we tried them, they were much too tall. They looked very funky, so we took them out and replaced them with red jewels instead of, because she had picked some pink ones. And so what we try for is perfection, as close as we can get it. Okay, Jeannie has finished the soldering on this, and now she's going to scrub and patina. Wasn't that nice of her to volunteer for that? I'm always willing to let her do the hard work that I don't want to do. Isn't that true? So, what's making the bubbles on here, Jeannie?
Making the bubbles?
you're
CJ's
using
flux remover.
Okay, so you're using CJ's on that and water. Okay. Ooh. It's like you're uncovering a beautiful work of art.
Just putting puddles here and there. And it's gonna be black.
Now this is Novacan black. If you don't use enough black, it tries to go copper on you, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, look at that. Now this window doesn't have zinc around it, which is really a good thing when you're making a black. And is that because it's going to have a...
I think it's going into a wooden frame.
Okay. Oh man, look at that.
Did I get it all? I think so.
Okay, now what do? Do you clean it again?
Mm-hmm.
Just water?
Well, just water, and then I'll do some maybe quick clean That's pretty. I especially wanted you to see the patina go on. It's like magic.
Okay.
So I'll go over it a few more times.
And what about the other side?
I already
Is it
did
done?
the other side.
All right, well then let's see the whole
You want to
window.
see it?
Yeah. Okay, well now we need to see it up against light source.
Not so good.
Put it maybe sideways.
Put it in the way.
Turn it sideways. Thank you. Great, look at that. Well, I hope you've had fun with us as we demonstrated our method of the Tiffany style plating. Now, one thing that I wanted to point out is that there is another method. I told you at the front of this video that I'd show you at the end, and so here it is. You could use E6000. Now, on this table, we've got glass glued to a full sheet of glass. Now this table is going to be the subject of a future video, but in the meantime I just wanted to show you this and use it as an example of how good two pieces of glass can be held together. Now looking down on this green glass, you can see there are no bubbles. It's completely sealed to the glass behind it, and so there's no way that you'd get dirt or moisture in there. And so that is a way that you could plate two pieces of glass together using E6000 glue. So if you've enjoyed this, I hope you have. I hope you find that it's entertaining and also helpful. Give us a like and subscribe if you haven't already, but tell your friends about it. This is a unique piece of information. There aren't any, or the videos that you can find are very few and far between, so that's one of the reasons why we thought we'd better show it. All right, see you next time.